Our final speaker is no stranger to Bath Iron Works. As Admiral Goddard mentioned, then Commander John Morgan was the first CEO of DDG-51 USS Arleigh Burke. He's done great things since he left the Kennebec River as well. He is now Deputy CNO for Info, Plans, and Strategy. Vice Admiral.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Dugan, thanks for inviting me up. Stan, thank you. Chuck, I really was touched by your remarks, and thank you for all coming. I'm going to talk from the heart. I'm only going to talk for a few minutes, and I have to start with an acknowledgement. I'm from away. But there are two people here today, and I won't repeat the introductions that Stan made earlier, but there are two people here today who are not from away, who are some of your best friends, and they're some of my best friends as well, and Charlie Craig and Roger Williams here in the front row. Both Maine residents, they've been close to this shipyard for a long time, and you grace us with your presence today. You know, as you drive up to the shipyard, you see this sign that says, "Through these gates walk the world's finest shipbuilders," and that's very true. But let me tell you why it's true, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a different twist on safety that really makes you the best shipbuilders in the world. Last night we were together with a group of old friends, and Bill Haggett stood up and eloquently spoke for 3 or 4 minutes about the touching nature of why these ships that come out of this shipyard are so important to our nation's security. And he talked about the Winston Churchill being in Germany and the Germans expressing their steadfast support for what we were about to do after 9/11. And it evoked a memory in my mind that I want to share with you this morning. Every one of you in this hall today, just take 1 second to think about what you were doing on that morning of 9/11. Just 1 second, think about where you were, what you felt, what you thought about, what was going through your mind. Let me tell you where I was. I was on the bridge of the aircraft carrier Enterprise. 2 days before, I'd been in the Persian Gulf conducting bombing operations against Iraq and then Operation Southern Watch. We transited through the Straits of Hormuz on the 10th. And on the morning of the 11th of September 2001, it was actually afternoon where I was actually up on the Flag Bridge. I was doing a workout, and I got a phone call. And the phone call said a small plane had flown into one of the towers of the World Trade Center. And I asked if there was any assessment as to why that was so. And the initial report that I got, and you recognize in my business that the first report is usually wrong, is that it was a cyber attack against the FAA. And I said, tell you what, I'll be right down. And I went down to my cabin and I turned on CNN, and I saw the first tower burning. And what struck me was it was a crystal clear day. If you recall, if all of you were here in Maine that day, it was just one of those beautiful September mornings where there wasn't a cloud in the sky. And I said, this isn't any cyber attack. And then I saw the next aircraft go in, and I did 2 things reflexively. One, I picked up the phone and I called the captain of the aircraft carrier, and I directed him to order the battle group to make best speed for the coast of Pakistan, because we knew that bin Laden was in Afghanistan. And the second thing is I got on my computer and I wrote an email to my head special forces who I just sent off the day before, and I said, Donnie, get your ass back here and bring your guns, because I knew we were going to turn up into the fight. And then for the next 3 weeks we prepared to avenge America's loss. I never thought that I would be 7,000 miles away from home, that I would have to worry about my friends dying in the Pentagon. I expected to get shot at, but I didn't expect them to get shot at. I never expected, having grown up in New York City, not to be able to see those Twin Towers again. And so for 3 weeks with determination, on horses that we knew would never tire, we got ready to avenge America's loss. And I can tell you, we chose the night of 7 October. We chose 7 October because it was a moonless night, and we knew for our adversaries that death waited in the darkness. And I can tell you, when I walked up onto my flag bridge at 18:59, 1 minute before the launch of over 120 cruise missiles that would set the stage for 1,000 combat sorties, I looked around and you know what I saw? I saw a bunch of DDGs built by Bath Iron Works. There was a comforting feeling in that. And then a minute later, I saw the night light up as tomahawk after tomahawk after tomahawk flew in to prepare our targets. And then 3 hours later, brave young men and women got into their cockpits, and they flew to targets that were close to almost 1,000 miles away. They were in cockpits for 10 and 12 hours, only to return and then fly again 8 hours later. We did that 1,000 times. We dropped 1 million pounds of bombs. And it was those DDGs that started it. They broke the door in, not only for those airplanes, but for the 450 Marines that Jim Mattis pushed 450 miles, 200 miles, longer than we should have gone, into Afghanistan to rid us of the evil warriors who were trying to put an end to our way of life. We did not end it, but I can tell you we stopped it for a time. And it's all thanks to you. And I want to leave you with one quick story to talk about safety for a second. When I came back, I'd gotten an email from my sister. My sister has a young daughter who's only 6 years old. Young Julia was going to kindergarten shortly after either the 12th or probably the 13th of September. And the teachers were very concerned about what these young children saw, about these horrific images that had affected America. And my young niece, Julia, who's very quiet by nature, stood up and said, "Don't worry, everybody. My Uncle John will make things all right." And the teacher said, "Julia, you know, that's very nice." And she said, "Is your Uncle John a policeman?" And Julia said, "No, he's not a policeman." And the teacher said, "Is your Uncle John a fireman?" And Julia said, "No, he's not a fireman." And the teacher said, "Well, what does your Uncle John do?" And Julia said, "I don't know. He just makes things safe." Well, let me tell you what you do, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not kidding. What you do is you make the American warfighter safe. We can go do what we do because you've done your job so well, with a dedication and a passion for excellence, with a never-ending desire to make it better and better and better. You arm us with the weapons that we need to prevail in this very challenging time. So when Dugan talks about safety, he means it in one way. When I talk about safety, I can tell you we're in the best hands we possibly can be for the safety of this country. Although I'm from away, I love being here. I'm proud to stand among your ranks, and I will be forever grateful for what you do. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.